Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to Producer Tips with me, Culture Code. This is tip number 4, and it's about layering synths. So let's get straight into it. I always start tracks with the chords, which are these. And then it's basically about building around those for me personally. So I'd maybe start by adding a sub underneath, which is this. Yeah, it's just, this is the sub I always use. It's a Vandalism patch called Concrete, and I just lower the filter, play around with some of the envelopes to get it sounding how I want. And then I'd add a bass in. Yeah, it's quite rich and high end. It's got also sort of a vocal tone to it for a bit of character. And then I've got another bass. That's actually a Vandalism sample that I've put in my own simpler. And yeah, so with those all together, yeah. Yeah, it's starting to fill out nicely. And then usually I'll add another chords layer with more stereo, with more of a wider sound for some more stereo information, as the first chords are quite straight down the centre. That's like your standard super saw patch. It goes nicely with the rest. Yeah, it gives it a lot more presence and a lot more power. And then lastly, but one of the most important things for me, is the melody line. And this is the layer where I try and get the most character out of it, the most uniqueness, so it stands out, and it gives a nice finish to the sound as a whole. I've also got one more melody layer, but it's a sort of sound that you can't really hear. But if you take it away, you lose something. It's just for a bit of well, you'll hear. I've called it the scream lead for obvious reasons. With all of those together, you get this. If I remove the two melody lines. And yeah, I like to play around with the melody lines as well. So if I take you into the MIDI, as you can see here, it dips in pitch and then comes straight back up on the envelope. It gives it a nice movement on the longer notes. Solo that out. Take it off. Yeah, it's sounding a bit straight now. I felt it sounded a lot nicer with a bit of movement on those longer notes. And then it's just a case of getting all these layers to fit together, and I do that by using EQ. So the sub will just be standard. You'll have all the frequency in, apart from what I took off from the low pass filter. Then with the basses, I'd remove the low end to make room for the sub, and with this one as well. Yep. And then the chords, I'd do the same. I haven't on this one for some reason. Yeah, it doesn't sound too low, but I'll do it just for good measure. It's a good thing this track isn't finished. Okay, and then, oh. main leads, took the low end out of those. And then I send them all to a bus after to do a bit of more post-processing on, which I'll show you now. So they go to this... Oh, that's why I didn't take off the low end of the chords. I did it on the bus. So the bass goes into the bass bus. We have to take the low end off of that as well. The chords go into the chords bus with the lead lines as well. And then both of these go into this all bus, which is where I do my stereo imaging to keep the bottom end more center and the top's a bit wider. So we've got the stereo imager in here. Yep, I've kept the bottom end just as it is, the low mids as it is, and I've increased the width on the higher mids and the very top. And then I've also got an equalizer. Yeah, because when you're boosting the very tops, you're also boosting the frequencies as well. So I found that as I made the tops a bit wider, the tops got a bit harsher. So I ducked that a bit. And that's pretty much it for that. I mean, there's as well as that, there's effects on the drop and stuff to help fill it out. But as for layering synths, that's my process. I hope you found that helpful. And if you have any more recommendations for future tips, then please leave them in the comments. Thanks, guys. Because